do that because I didn't have time to figure that out. All right.
Well, the audio was coming through, so
Do you still hear my audio?
and the stream is up, so it looks all right to me.
Cool. If my audio drops out, let me know, so that I can. Sometimes like the web app doesn't work for me, and I'll just reload. So I'll keep the Discord open. All right, we're ready to go on stream. I guess we'll post the thing in the Discord. Uh, all right. I guess we're just waiting on them to finish eating breakfast or whatever. I guess not for gamesou.
All right. So, hi there, everybody. Here with Breppert to watch gamesou and Beyond Awesome play for their, I guess it's a round of 32.
Yeah, around that you made it into before losing, and I lost before getting into.
Yeah, this is our reward. We get to play backseat driver now.
Yeah, this is a much better experience, much less
It's much
stress.
more satisfying to criticize other people with nothing on the line.
Oh yeah, it's way better.
That's definitely the way to go.
So this board, right? There's no way to play extra actions. There's not. I mean, your only cantrip is groundskeeper, so you got to play some sort of money-ish thing, right?
Right. I mean, to me, pretty clear opening mask silver, I guess. Although you could do gears
Yeah,
instead.
right. Gear's good in money, so like masked gear wouldn't be crazy either.
Right.
I don't
Yeah, I
like
could
masked.
see any of those.
Yeah, masked silver and money I don't love because it's not like you're gonna hit six, and I guess there's venture here on five, but when you're playing money and like none of these fives really matter very much, at least not in the start of the game, it doesn't seem like I would really go out of my way for a silver early. I think I'd rather just cycle and make sure I hit 3-3 and trash and do that, but masked silver would be fine too.
I guess my only question would be whether the game can last long enough for the groundskeepers to come into play. That seems to be the only, I guess, major divergence that could occur between the two,
Yeah,
between strategies here, whether
I
you
could
wanted to try to get some groundskeepers or not.
I could see picking up groundskeepers if it's the middle of the game and you hit five. I could see picking those up. I don't think like buying them kind of late on is going to work out because you're only going to see them maybe once or twice, and a duchy would probably just be better. Like maybe kind of early-ish. I guess your gamesou takes one turn three, so maybe they're good for getting harems right early,
Right.
but those do seem early to me. I don't think I would go for groundskeeper this early.
So they both mirrored on that, though, so we'll see a little bit of play with those.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get to see how that plays
It
out.
is the only good pathfinding target here, but not. So maybe that's worth it. I mean, maybe if you're
Yeah,
turning them into labs, it's fast enough.
yeah, that
Because in
actually does
that
seem
case,
good.
buying the fives is still building.
Right.
It's not just. It's to me, it's a question of is a person who's rushing down provinces already have, well, not by turn 6, but by turn 10 or 12 already have, 5 or 6 of them or something.
Yeah. I think I agree though with what they're doing. I think the groundskeepers are going to be with the pathfinding are probably going to be good enough. It's a bit awkward for them to hit eight though, with these decks. So they'll eventually switch to harems and hit eight, maybe turn 10 or 11.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if either of them has 2 silvers. I guess Beyond Awesome does. So he can hit 8 just with his deck
Right.
as it is. I don't know if gamesou got a second silver. They played this start quite quickly. So
Yeah, it looks like there's 4 silvers gone in the supply, so
So
yeah,
gamesou
he
has
hits
it
eight.
in here, which you assume he just takes it immediately. not trash.
Yeah, that seems clearly correct. And then I think we'll see them take, or at least we should see them take a couple harems, and then just try to province. I don't know actually how many harems they should take. A good number, probably.
Yeah, you don't want to. Well, I guess as if a stall out means you just hit 6 instead of 8, it's not so bad to start on provinces quicker. Uh, that you do want a couple harems.
Yeah. Just hitting
I don't
numbers
know.
doesn't matter as much.
I don't know here in the Twitch chat if Captain Weedwhacker is Dan or Seprix. Those are really the only two options, but I'm not sure which is which.
I'm guessing that it's Seprix.
Yeah, it seems more Seprixy.
Yes, I should
Whatever that
actually.
means.
Yeah. I should actually go hop on that stream channel. Yeah, I don't know there's too much else to say about this game other than kind of just what they're doing.
Yeah, we'll just. I mean, the turns for a while here will play themselves as long as they have groundskeepers in the opening hand. I mean, I guess one thing you can say is try to draw groundskeepers in your opening hand. But
That's a good strategy, yeah.
I mean, it's one of these classic Dominion things is the best players draw their hunting parties, their labs, their stables at the top of the shuffle. That's like a key skill.
Yeah, the good players will use things like Gear and Haven to do that. The great players will just have it happen for them automatically.
Yeah, yeah. It costs 0 turns to shuffle well, so
Absolutely.
you can't beat that for efficiency. They are failing to draw very much here. I mean, I guess they split the groundskeepers, so it's not that surprising. But the harem buys are actually getting in the way of playing more groundskeepers.
Yeah,
So they're not really racking up a huge amount of VP points. So
right.
or tokens, I should say.
Right. I guess right the idea is to kind of sort of golden-ish deck this where you trash a copper every turn and buy a harem every turn for a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you don't draw your masquerade, that doesn't work.
And I would have turned to provinces sooner, I think. I mean, at this point, you've got so many harems.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not really stringing the groundskeepers together to get. You're not going to have 5 VP plus your victory card. It's just unless you're super lucky.
Yeah.
So I don't, and it just gets worse the more harems you buy. So I'm not sure.
I think
gamesou has done way better though on as far as getting VP. So I imagine once they turn to the provinces, it'll be a pretty secure win for him.
Yeah. Oh, Beyond Awesome just finally
Did
got
BA
8.
just not have pathfadzing until now?
Yeah,
Oh man,
that explains it.
yeah. We're terrible. That's much more of the story than anything else.
Yeah, this is our warm-up game as commentary here. We're trying to
They're playing fast.
They are.
I would not have emptied the harems, but okay, they didn't empty the harems.
Yeah, so I mean Gamesou just wins here. He drew his cards a lot better. So he's way more trashed.
One thing you can do, I mean, you can play a 5 VP golden deck if you don't buy all these treasures, right? You can just buy a duchy or a estate and trash one every turn.
Right. So that gets you 5 VP a turn. You know, how competitive is that? It's probably losing, I would think, because it takes you 10, 11 turns at least to set up.
Yeah. It's just a question of whether they're disciplined in emptying provinces.
Yeah. Right, your opponent can empty harems, and keep getting as many points as you are per turn, and then get empty provinces and get more. So probably, I don't know. I actually don't know how you'd play that mirror exactly.
So gamesou should pass the harem here.
Hmm.
Which is not great, but it's just what you have to do.
It's a lot easier when you're up 20 points to do that.
Yeah, the point swing won't be an issue. People always get a little afraid of the bad masquerade passes, but that's just a sign that your deck is good.
Yeah.
It's usually not. Uh, you're usually not happy about it, but it's not necessarily an indication of building badly or anything like that. And it's possible to be overly paranoid about keeping crappy cards around just for passing.
Yeah, it's definitely something that you don't want to worry too much about. I think the only time it really matters is in games where like you're really limited on gains, so the passing really hurts you. Otherwise, just
Yeah.
buy more stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's sometimes you can worry about it because you can address it. Like you can guarantee you have a copper on top or something and you're playing a stables deck, so it's fine anyway. But
Right.
um, a lot of times it's not. I mean, I do it myself sometimes, but I see people passing on trashing whenever uh, they're down to a few coppers, but really you can just keep killing them.
Yeah, it's really killer when your opponent gets Masquerade out of the black market deck, and you've already trashed all the way down, and then Masquerade's basically a gainer for them. But that's not too common. Here Beyond Awesome wants to pass a silver, but that doesn't matter.
Should have remembered to change. Actually, I can do that myself. I forgot there's an in-game command. Get rid of this swamp hag background.
All right, what one should I change it to?
I don't know. I always play with the no art one.
All right, what one should I change? Sorry, there's going to be a second of feedback there on the stream, but it
I
should be
always
taken
play
care
with
of now.
the I don't know what this is called, the little pattern, but
Oh yeah, the
we can just go through them. We can see what does the audience want for the background.
I just switched it to the Haunted Woods one. Uh, I don't know what they want.
Twitch chat, what's your favorite background? Just don't say rebuild.
Of course, Sepric says rebuild. Silk Road. All right. Meanwhile, gamesou wins game one.
All right, first game to gamesou. Pretty much looks like a question of who hits the 8 first there.
Yeah, right. It happened like 4 or 5 turns differently that game, so that was just unfair. Whose start was that? Do you remember? Almost definitely not. Once this game starts back up again, I'll start cycling through the backgrounds. Sir Dagan
We have
seems,
votes for BG10, which is
seems
my
to want
personal favorite. But
BG10.
oh, it doesn't remember. Wow, that's not great. So apparently, maybe I'm not sure what the issue is, but it doesn't remember your change settings
Yeah, it's like only works for the current game or something.
from game to game.
I guess we got a
I
new
mean,
board here.
I know you can change it in your personal settings permanently, but
Yeah, I would have thought the other thing changed it too, but I guess not.
yeah. Oh well.
So this is just a
All
Herald
right, Steph.
Goons Watchtower thing,
You
right?
need to fix that.
We'll just add it to the list of steps of petulant things that Steph needs to fix.
Steph, stop working on Nocturne. Get this background stuff sorted out immediately.
So this is one of those decks, I guess, right? Where you have to play the Herald thing, even though it's not ideal, because it's the only way
You
to
don't have to.
get extra cards. I guess you could play uh, Mining Village, Dunes, Watchtower
Like
stuff.
mining village watchtower. I mean, I expect that you will buy heralds, but I wouldn't necessarily focus on that. I would rather have more mining villages than heralds, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Actually.
You'd rather, have some control over your watchtowers and be able to have one sticking around at the end of turns, which Herald can be kind of bad about doing.
Yeah. I mean, herald in general to me, that I think the aspect of not having control over the order in which you play your cards is a much bigger thing than people give it, as a much bigger problem than people give it credit for. But here, yeah, like it highlights the fact that with Watchtower, you want to time that specifically during your turn, and heralds prevent that.
Yeah. So Beyond Awesome got this early count, so he should, I guess, gamesou gets one now, but Beyond Awesome should be a little bit ahead.
They both made count before the shuffle. So they're not too far apart. Although I guess one got it without a silver. Yeah, gamesou got it without taking silver. So
Yeah.
that's pretty nice.
And Beyond Awesome's sat on bottom here, so now he's a little behind. Oh, he has the overdone straight trash, still misses.
Still. Too bad that hovel doesn't do the same thing. Okay, so on 5 here, I would probably might just go to the watchtower. I'm not sure about the poachers.
Yeah.
So this should just be a trash for gamesou.
Yep.
He'll get down. He'll be totally clean in turn or two between the rat catchers and the counts. I mean, the count is as much economy as you really need to get one goons, and then you're fine.
Right. Yeah, this is not. I mean, there's so much village on this board that like some boards you get one goons and then you don't get your second until like way later. But here, I think you just kind of pile on.
Yeah, you can. You want to make sure your draw is good enough to play as many of them as you're getting, but other than that, you can alternate, I guess, village and goons pretty safely.
Right. There's just no other payload that you really want.
But you do have to balance it with Watchtower's Herald a little bit.
Yep.
So gamesou is, I think, pretty far ahead.
Yeah, getting the goons play first should kind of help cement that because all the trashing here is awkward if you're starting with 3-card hands.
Yeah, I mean, there's guide, so I don't know if gamesou has two. I know gamesou bought a guide. I don't know if he has both of them or if they each got one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
gamesou has both of the guides, so Beyond Awesome does not have those yet.
Yeah, that looks pretty important.
So that's pretty important for recovering your hand unless you get into the Watchtower stage. So for me, I would like to see gamesou start getting the mining villages. I hope he doesn't buy heralds. I mean, I think mining villages are much better for gamesou than herald are.
Yeah.
Right now. I mean, a little bit. It's not like you'd complain about having a stack of heralds.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think if you're behind, maybe heralds, you might go for a bit more because they're potentially better for you. But I think if you're ahead, just do the consistent thing with mining village watchtower right off from the start.
Beyond Awesome has the guides, so he'll be at least fighting the goons a little bit. I think if gamesou plays it cleanly, this is one of these positions where he shouldn't lose from. I do not like 50 guides. That's just wasting your lead.
Yep.
You already have plenty. You don't need
Yep.
you don't need 4. I mean, it's 5 even actually, but that's just a waste of economy that could be actually making your deck better rather than ultra consistent, which it already is.
Yeah, I think
So
it's
not a
maybe
fan of that.
yeah. I think it's maybe a little bit of the thinking like, oh, I have $6, I should buy $6 worth of stuff, but you'd be better off just buying a mining village this turn, and then being able to actually start building from that.
Yeah, I mean he could even, if he wanted to spend the 6, he could buy goons and just not play count the next turn. It's not terrible either.
Yeah.
But just rushing the guides doesn't actually gain you any material advantage. I don't like the Herald, as we've already discussed, but it's still okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sad that nobody has even worked towards getting the Watchtower stuff going. I mean, they don't really have enough goons to make it huge yet, but
Right, but that's 100% what this deck has to become.
yeah. I mean, he's getting some nice work out of the Ratcatcher Guide synergy, but
Yeah, ideally, right, he'd be.
which also lets you take in some extra coppers and still uh, trash them.
Mhm. But yeah, I think.
JSH is threatening to reveal all the scandalous behavior that's gone on in the league over the years. He's got documents, he says, so everyone should look out for that.
That does seem like something we should be afraid of. Do operator asked what the score is in the Twitch. I have worked very hard to include a score at the bottom of the screen, so hopefully you should be able to see it there.
Yep. And Deadlock did all this work. All this work, I don't know what that means, but he did some work to make a website where you can produce a nice banner for your streams or recordings, and I don't know if anyone's ever used it. I don't remember where
He
it
didn't
is.
include a guide on how to include it, and I'm not smart enough to figure that out.
Oh, well, I think the idea is it just produces, with OBS, you can capture whatever you want
Yeah,
from your screen. So I think the idea is it just makes then you got to capture that window and cut out the score part and set it up in OBS. But
gotcha.
I mean, I just open up a WordPad window and to make my little score banner. But
I use the like the built-in OBS text thing. Works okay, I guess.
all right, so gamesou adds the second goons. Beyond Awesome gets the second goons. Beyond Awesome is putting out a little more money with the silver.
Yeah, that's how you can kind of stay in these games when you're behind, especially with gamesou not kind of building very aggressively. Right, if your economy is just as good, even if your consistency is a little bit worse, you can get back into the game.
Yeah, well, I would consider that gamesou threw away one turn entirely.
Yeah.
So that helps too.
So they're pretty much just straight up playing Herald Goons with some of this other guide stuff going on. They're making no real attempt to do the Mining Village Watchtower stuff. You have to
Yeah.
eventually do the Watchtower thing. There's no other way to play this board, but it'll be interesting to see how they transition into that.
Yeah. I don't hate the build they're taking right now. I think it has made sense for their monies that they've had each turn, but
Right, the Herald
um,
thing is faster than the Mining Village Watchtower thing, right? It's just less consistent over time.
probably when they're this then. The gamesou's getting pretty close to the I mean they both are now. Once you have your third goons, that's pretty um it's pretty much the point where you have enough of the buys to make good use of the watchtower trick.
Do you think Beyond Awesome here should just keep going Goons Herald?
I mean, I'm fine with heralds or mining villages, but I would, since he's overdrawing still by like mini cards, everybody is more or less. gamesou has he can kind of do a poor man's watchtower. He can almost afford to buy coppers on his excess buys, and because of how many guides and rat catchers he has set aside,
Right. And you had to top
probably
deck him with Count and then trash him.
yeah. Um, he can almost get rid of them, guaranteed.
Yeah, he's got right 4 guides and 3 rat catchers, so yeah, he can do pretty much whatever he wants.
One of the actual bad things about Herald is that you can draw it at the end of your turn rather than the start and just whiff on the village effect completely.
True.
Um, which is another reason to prefer the mining villages. Um, and here he's calling 30 guides because
Oh, people are asking on the Twitch channel.
but
There's some
like
like
at this
special.
point they're so trashed. The heralds. I mean, this is kind of where you can get into trouble with the herald deck versus the mining villages as far as controlling what you play.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, people on the Twitch channel are asking. I have like some special icons on the screen. That's just I have the King's Courtier extension, which I basically just shows the if there's like durations and reserves down. So that's the icons you're seeing. It doesn't have any deck tracking or anything like that. It's just
DQ Breppert.
yeah. You can DQ me from the tournament. I'd be fine with that.
DQ Breppert from Dominion Online.
That might actually be good for me.
Terms of throw. Yeah, right. Exactly. It's like someone needs to ban me. I don't even like play anybody anymore. I just play bots and talk on Discord. I still spend too much time thinking about Dominion.
Yeah, I think we all do.
So now gamesou gets into that watchtower mining village action, which I like.
Yep. Yep, that's definitely the end of what you do here. The piles are getting low already, but they're going to stop buying rat catchers and guides and just start buying coppers.
Yeah. Beyond Awesome will get a couple extra. I would just double mining villages Beyond Awesome here, but GSH points out there's another interaction with the watchtower with count where you can basically just negate the copper gain on the count play.
Yeah.
Mine Village Herald's fine too.
Yeah.
It's a little weird to top deck since you're almost surely guiding.
Yeah. Right, you're 100% gonna guide.
Right.
You're never not gonna get goons here.
Yeah, so top decking is actually just bad for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hanaku also points out he plays a rat catcher unnecessarily when it should just stay in as a herald target.
True.
Maybe gamesou's gonna try and play without calling guide this turn. I don't know. It was a weird choice, or it was a bad choice to top deck those.
Yeah, right. That makes those heralds a lot more likely to sit at the bottom. And he's not really in a position where he can afford to not play too many villages.
I mean, when you're buying goons, you want to top deck those so that you can guide them away, but not the heralds, not the villages. We'll see if gamesou makes the same mistake.
He chooses not to top deck the goons, which is probably wrong, but won't really matter.
No, but you do want to do it. It is better. It's not a big deal, but it is better to do it.
You can kind of make the heralds hit if you. Oh,
Yeah.
there he hits his watchtower. That'll
There you
happen.
go.
You can kind of make the heralds hit with count discarding.
But he'll miss out on like. And this last herald doesn't village either, which is just one of the ones that he tossed at the start of his turn, probably. So he's missing out on quite a number of points and a little bit of money here.
Right.
$3.
Well, shouldn't
probably.
he have played count, discarded 2 goons, and then used the herald to draw and play the goons?
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, he could have played all the actions.
Yeah, that's a pretty clear miss that cost him $3.
Yeah, the VP was lost, but the money was still a possibility.
Yeah.
So, or not just a possibility, the money was still gettable. We may just come out here with two. This doesn't happen too often in the goons games, but I think we're actually going to get down to 5 goons apiece.
Yeah.
And they'll probably both have at least 2 or 3 turns where they play them all.
Yeah.
I guess Well, gamesou could take them both here. I don't know. He probably ought to.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty. Oh,
Yeah, so they didn't. Apparently, the spec banning doesn't work,
yeah.
or they didn't do it. I mean, we didn't ask them to. So,
Yeah, I think I did briefly ask them to, but I wasn't like, I
oh
wasn't
well, we don't know if
hard
they
about
could
it.
see it when.
True.
So,
Um, yeah, I think it's right to take all of the goons because there's so much village still left in the supply that if you're playing 6 goons and they're playing 4, you're just gonna win here.
yeah, yeah, I definitely agree that he wants to win the goon split, which is not a thing that matters very much. Count discard the goons didn't actually work there, Tube City. He had a card left on his deck that would have left him with the goons in the discard. He could have top decked a goon. Now that wouldn't work either. Then he would have played the Herald or played the Watchtower. So that he played it right. Um, and as you noted, he got to play it all anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, the
Yeah,
talent discard thing only works if you're completely drawn
deck's
up.
empty. Yeah.
We also talked about Nick and I were talking before the stream. Uh, we think that this will kind of be the last one that we do as only Twitch only, unless we a hear a good reason from the mods on why they wanted it, or b a player asked for it. So I think this will be the last time we kind of do this Twitch exclusive or Twitch forced thing is I guess the better way to phrase it. Not as good for marketing, but more accurate.
Right, unless you can convince us we're going rogue.
He bought a poacher. That seems weird.
Yeah, I'm not seeing what the poacher does, but gamesou has to now kind of recover his village count
Right.
here.
He's got a nice points lead though, so he's got plenty of time to do it. Maybe take a second watchtower too, just in case.
I mean, definitely want to draw with the watchtower here, and it's okay to not do the copper trashing, I think. Well,
Yeah.
with I guess he's gonna not draw with the watchtower, but
I guess
I
he
think I would
figures
have.
he doesn't have enough village to get the draw to be worth it.
It might be a little hard. I guess he's already got this points lead, so it's not a really an issue here to just double village and get a couple coppers. Just
Yeah.
extends the lead and it doesn't look recoverable.
Yeah, I can't really see any way that Beyond Awesome's going to be able to win this game.
Beyond Awesome can get 5 cards on it in a turn, so you can get 6. Getting a pile empty is easy because of the mining villages to get the money.
Right.
I would not. I mean, JSH seems to be suggesting moving for a pile out. I would not do that yet.
No, he needs more village first.
I would just get more villages and kind of extend the lead a little. That should be. I like those buys.
Yep, I agree with those. Because right, he has if he plays everything, he has 7 buys a turn, so he can just slowly lower the piles down to 7 total, and then he can just win.
Yeah. Which they're at 7 now, but he can go as low as 5 or 6 when he has this lead.
Right, because you have to trash. He doesn't have enough money to do it now. Or I guess he probably does, but late on, you want to trash a mining village or
I
two,
think with the
probably.
perfect draw, he could end it on his next turn, but there's no reason to trash the mining villages until you're sure
Right,
it works.
because it's like $17, right? That's more than he has unless he trashes pretty much all of his mining villages.
And Beyond Awesome is busting mining villages. I don't really know why.
I guess he's losing, so he's just going for it.
Is he just gonna buy provinces? It's not even gonna catch him up.
Yeah, I don't know. Like he could kind of, even if he goes for these piles, he's still not going to have enough points. And gamesou's chance of dudding is of course 0%. So
Second Watchtower might have been better than another village for gamesou.
yeah,
Not sure. Of course, you don't need a Watchtower on the turn you end it. You just buy whatever.
hmm I do think that Beyond Awesome trashing these mining villages is kind of like clicking the resign button.
Yeah, I mean, well, he still has enough villages to support his terminals just because he didn't get as many goons. But like -2 actions here, he still has enough to play all his terminals.
True.
But I don't know what the extra cash this turn is doing for him as far as improving his turn. I mean, to be fair, he's in like a lost position, so I don't know. I don't know if it makes sense to. I don't know what his out is that
Yeah.
he ought to be playing towards.
Yeah.
Not
And
particularly seeing something.
yeah, he just loses in all likelihood. So
It's like he's gonna buy a province now. That's just. I mean, he can lower the piles. Like he can buy a province and lower piles, but he's behind still. He's not gonna score. If he could do that and take a commanding lead, it might make sense. But without a lead, it doesn't mean anything.
yeah, but there's things you could do if there wasn't a 0% chance for gamesou to dud, right? You could kind of lower piles, take some points, and put yourself in a chance to win. But the way that gamesou's deck is right now, it's never going to dud, so you're pretty lost.
Yeah. His worst outcome, gamesou's worst outcome, is finding Watchtower with Herald in his turn, but he's still going to draw a bunch. He's going to
Yeah,
play 4 or 5 goons, maybe 6 if he's real lucky. So he does get a lead here, I guess. He didn't put the piles. He didn't actually put the piles into a spot where he could end it, since he'd have to lower something to 5 to do that.
yeah. It might make sense for gamesou to think about trashing this mining village here. The piles are a little bit lower, but playing it safe is fine too.
Well, how much money? He only needed $15 to win, right?
Yeah.
On Ratcatcher Guide.
Does he have it in hand yet? If he trashes this mining village, he's got.
So that's enough.
Yeah, that's 15. So he has
He
it in
has a
hand.
win. He has a win in hand.
Oh,
The real question is, will gamesou not? He didn't. You got to remember to get rid of that watchtower so you don't have to click done reacting 6 times.
yeah, that's the
That's
real key.
that's the most important play in the whole game. Actually, for style points, you don't click done reacting, you click trash.
Yeah,
But
you got to go style points. All right, so that's 2 to gamesou.
that was a nice board.
Yeah,
Maybe a little on the nose what you want to do, but the guide rec there were a lot of neat little interactions, kind of, and they used pretty much all of them. So
yeah, a lot of cool things you could
I
do.
think they literally used all of them. I don't need to be stingy.
Yeah, I think they've played both of these pretty well so far. I think.
The here is just, I guess you do like centuries and mountebank. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little awkward because if if Gladiator wasn't here and you didn't have the fortune option, it seems pretty clearly like you just like raise into Century Mountebank and money and stuff. But you kind of want to play with the fortune if you can. Um, but I don't know. Like you don't want to be the one playing gladiators instead of mountebanks, so it's kind of awkward.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that fortune's that huge here. Um, since you can't put together, it would be, you could maybe double province. I mean, maybe your best outcome is double fairgrounds with the fortune, but
Yeah,
I don't I don't see it making a big impact one way or the other.
yeah. I think
Um,
the biggest thing is just neither of you want to be the one playing with the gladiator, right? So we
yeah.
shouldn't see fortune play.
So what's the opening? Delve raise, double delve
Uh, I
on the
I
fours.
some combination of delve and raise. I don't know if you want 2 raises or 2 delves. I think because mountebank is here, I think 2 delves and a raise makes sense.
Yeah.
And Century too. I guess you do mountebank first, and then you get Centuries after.
The sentries will maybe suck. Well, they always kind of suck if you have to wait that long to get them, but
Yeah,
probably I'm not sure I'd take on my first five. It's not clear to me, at least, whether it ought to be Sentry or Mountebank. I'm kind of leaning towards Sentry right now.
yeah. I think I would lead towards mountebank. Any time where I don't have another terminal I want to play, I always would get mountebank first, unless it's like count or something. But Century could be up there too. I probably don't rate Century as highly as maybe I should, but I could see either one being
It can be a
okay.
real pain. I wonder. I wonder if there's ever any place where you top deck a curse instead of trashing it here. If you find one with Sentry, if that's ever the play.
Yeah, I think you can kind of right. You can pay attention to your opponent's shuffles pretty well on a board like this and know kind of what their chances of playing a mountebank is. And if they have decent chances of playing a mountebank, I think it makes sense to do.
Yeah. Yeah, you can certainly keep track of that stuff here. So they both did 2 silvers raise on their opening.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Gamesou his Century, BA does not.
Yeah, gamesou or Beyond Awesome hit 4-4, uh, which is pretty brutal.
Yeah. So Gamesou opted for the Century.
Yeah, and also Beyond Awesome there had four. He decided to just buy a raise and pass on a silver. I'm not sure about that on this board. I think having a bunch of silvers is fine, like in a deck like this.
Hmm. I I think it's possible to go overboard. Um, Prevents your centuries from being very good.
Yeah,
Gamesou definitely having the better draws so far. I would toss both those and try and raise my raise to get to the mountebank.
yeah, I think
Oh,
that
he
makes
didn't have a
sense.
mountebank yet. Never mind.
Oh yeah, then that would be trying to get to your mountebank if you don't have one in your deck seems like a bad play.
It would be tough to do. Somewhere along the line, the cartographer is better than the centuries, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure when.
probably not for a little while. Probably around the time when gold starts being better than either of them.
Yeah. Second mountebank is a little dubious. No one's done it, but getting a second mountebank here may be dubious depending on the size of your deck.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just have a lot of sifting and trashing, and just try to play one of them consistently.
Yeah. But if your deck's kind of ballooned up, then a second one's good.
Yeah. If your deck gets really ballooned up with Mountebank, like four of them can be good.
Yeah. This is actually a really nice starting hand for Beyond Awesome.
Yeah, he should get through a lot of this deck. Unfortunately for him, there's still a lot of deck to get through. I guess you kill your raises somewhat aggressively, because it long term the sentries are so much better. The raises aren't really good at handling the choppers or the curses.
So I thought that was a weird time to discard Curse for Beyond Awesome.
I agree
He
with
wasn't going
that.
to top deck it to protect next turn. So um, I don't know if there's a lot of value to keeping it in the deck,
Yeah,
but it might block some.
yeah. It doesn't seem awful to me, but I think it does seem worse than just going ahead and getting rid of it. It's just kind of the odd board where like playing cartographer to set up sentry is something that's like sort of a thing.
The real question is, will the decks, when they green, will the decks get fat enough that they can buy harvests? That's what I want to see, is a harvest.
That would take something.
I mean, it could happen with the fairgrounds. At
Yeah,
some point, do you just say, screw it, delve, 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 delve?
yeah. I think when the curses are kind of gone, I think you do kind of take this deck where you're trying to control and play a lot of mountebanks and uh, kind of try to get through your deck a lot, and you just say screw it, and you just buy a bunch of treasure and stuff. Because the Sentry decks are actually pretty resilient at greening. The Cartographer effect is a real thing. This is another one of those, just like the last board, it's another one of those boards where you just kind of do the same thing every turn for a long time and just buy a little bit more stuff. There's
Yeah,
not really much developing for us to talk about.
only even slower
Yeah,
because you can buy like a single 5, which is just a kind of a crappy filtering cantrip. You don't even like your economy is never increasing.
yeah,
Like someday you might buy golds and buy an 8, but years from now.
yep. Yeah, in about, I guess, in 3 turns, if we're lucky, the cursors will be gone.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll
Yeah,
see him start to
we
buy
want
stuff.
0 blocks. We want the blocks to stop.
Yeah,
Man, the turns are not necessarily trivial to play correctly either. You have to do so much top deck reordering,
yeah.
but you do it for some like minuscule advantage. Like
Right, you
you get
have to.
next to nothing out of it, but you still have to do it.
Yeah, yeah, you have to. And these games are so painful to sit through your opponent's turns on as they're just playing for 20 minutes and then they buy a 5.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're just manipulating cards around so that they can trash one curse and buy a 5 or something. There's nothing else.
He does use the top deck that curse, which is nice.
I'm sorry I sound so sad, Davorian. I thought this is just what I always sound like.
JSH defended you, so I think we're all good.
It's morning. I'm not awake. I really pep up in the afternoon.
Terrible Kingdoms can be a lot of fun. This one's not. Like Terrible Kingdoms where you
I
just end in 4 minutes buying IGGs can be a nice change of pace every once in a while. This is not.
No. I like terrible kingdoms where the turns are short. I do not want to play cartographer deck ever. Cartographer Wishing Well is like an interaction I hope I never play again in my entire life.
Oh yeah.
This is like as boring as Cartographer Wishing Well, only you don't get to draw a card.
Yeah, there's no payload. You just try to get to a mountebank and then that's it.
Buy your gold, buy your 5, hooray. And we're going to unfortunately have a block this turn.
Yeah. Unfortunately, these decks are getting good enough with the sifting to where we're going to see pretty consistent blocks here.
Yeah, if you want them, you can keep them. Keep the curses on top. It's no trouble. I don't think keep. I don't think I would just. I would have blown up the raise there. I mean, it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can blow it up later. It's fine, but
Yeah. Guess we'll see if he starts in on provinces.
Yeah, I think I would. Like, there's so much sifting here that it's not really going to hurt you to take some green and just try to score more points than your opponent at some point here.
Yeah.
And if you have a dudish turn, then you can just buy your cartographer later. It doesn't really matter. These decks are going to be sort of random enough to where you can kind of green early and not really be punished.
Yeah, you're not missing out on any like non-linear buildup of your engine by greening early or something.
Yeah.
You're just if your next turn can't afford 8, you just do the thing you would have done this turn if you hadn't bought province.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter.
Beyond Awesome does have a lot more money than
Yeah,
gamesou does, and
it
his
looks
deck,
good for him.
yeah, and his deck's only a little bit worse, or his sifting. I guess he has. No, he actually has better sifting. He has an
Yeah,
extra
he is an
century.
extra sentry. I'm kind of trying to see how the fairgrounds could come in. Someone can Dutchy dance with him, but it takes a little bit of effort to get your 10 uniques. Well, depending on if you still have a raise around or not.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure about. I
It's
mean, I
not too
guess
hard.
you can kind of do it with Province, Duchy, Fairgrounds. You're kind of there.
Yeah. You may not have, well, I don't know if either of them have coppers still. That's one thing.
Yeah,
Um, but I guess you can safely assume you'll get another copper before the end of the game
true.
if you don't have one still.
Yeah, that should be easy enough to hang on to. Gamesou is a little bit thinner than Beyond Us, and Beyond Us took a fair amount of extra silver, so that's maybe one avenue he has to maintaining some sort of lead here.
Depend on if he can. I mean, like, Gamesu has a province hand, right? I mean, he's going to hit province again.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I would start trashing silver from my deck if I were Beyond Us. I think you really want an $8 like deck here because you just want to sift around to $8 each turn because you've got 6 sifters.
I would be a little nervous trying that because you need to have you need to fit. You still need your opening hands to be pretty good to manage that if you just have $8 in the deck.
True, but like how many
Like
stop cards would you
if
have?
you have 2 green cards in your opening hand, you're just not getting there.
I guess that's right because you can't get your hand size up anymore. So yeah, I think that makes sense. I wasn't really thinking about the.
I mean, another gold is not bad
Yeah, I think if you had a second
because then you
gold,
can get there with 3 card hands. But
yeah, it's true.
I think it's time to stop trying to block. Well, and certainly you don't need to keep 2 curses around. I guess
Yeah,
he could. Well, no, he's gonna want to try and get to province here, so probably trash and toss the province and see what your cartographer and raise can find you.
yeah.
I guess the last couple cards have to be silvers, maybe copper. I wasn't watching.
I think it. Yeah, I think he has a
He
copper down
trashed some
there.
copper, so
I think he has 2 coppers. Never mind. I don't know.
he's going for this blocking. I don't like now at this stage.
Yeah, right. It prevents you too much from being able to hit 8.
Yeah, he just won't get a province this turn now. It's fine when your target is $5. Like if you're in this $5 or $6, you can still hit that easy. But um, but once you want to buy a province, every green and purple card is just killer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine when you're building and $5 is fine, but now it's pretty bad.
Gamesou is essentially playing with the $8 deck. It's $9, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see. We'll see if it works out for him. Well, he's not necessarily ahead, but
Yeah, we'll get to see some sort of dancing here. I would imagine. And it'll kind of come down to what hands you draw. But Beyond Awesome definitely made his own bed here to lie in as far as not being able to hit $8 in this hand. And gamesou will hit 8 easily off of this his starting hand.
and this should be a pretty safe province for gamesou again, and trashing the amount of bank stuff if Beyond Awesome gets to play one, which is he will, but gamesou ought to be able to province and trash the cursed copper again.
Yeah.
With this starting hand. I mean, if he has really bad placement with the provinces, he won't, but it would take like having a province on top right now and also in an inconvenient spot later on, which depends on how you do the discarding. But
Yeah, it seems like it would take a combination of bad plays and bad draws to make that happen.
he's more or less guaranteed the province. I don't think he's technically guaranteed the trash of both curse and copper, but
Yeah. It
pretty
would take
close to
like
it.
chartographers and sentries sitting on bottom, and then
The
even
fairgrounds
then,
just don't look like a comeback mechanic here.
yeah.
I don't think.
I guess you can buy them and then make them 4 points.
But we're done with cursing after this turn.
Yeah. So like right here, he can trash this curse and make the top of his deck clean, but it's going to take him like about 45 seconds to a minute to reorder everything in order to do that.
Just have to put the gold on top, right?
Well, you want to play,
and the curse somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I think you put the curse in the middle. You stick the cartographer on bottom. You play the sentry. I guess you can stick cartographer and sentry on bottom, right? Play the sentry,
Yeah, I might
draw the
take
gold.
both. I would probably take both here. You could just do both the sentry and just essentially just leave a cartographer on top of your deck.
Yeah.
Also.
It should be plenty safe.
And trash the copper.
Mm-hmm.
Copper is dud card unless you have a golden hand, then it's not. for this deck. So he could have certainly played it in a way that let him have a cartographer on top.
Yeah.
But he did not. He just gets a sentry. Now this hand is not so guaranteed to find what you want, but he could still province.
Yeah, it
Has
still
to find
seems.
gold.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like if there's a green card on top, then he doesn't make it. If gold's not in his top 5 cards, he doesn't make it.
Yes.
Gamesou,
Yeah,
that
it still
is.
seems pretty likely. Is it right? He
Not
can find the
beyond.
cartographers and stuff. But if a green card's on top, then he's just stuck. But the points are
Yeah, it's
definitely in a
not what I
position.
said is not quite true. The gold doesn't have to be in the top 5, but
Just more
can't
sifting.
be too far away. And if it's not in the top 5, then some specific things do have to be in the top 5
Hmm.
to keep digging.
So we should see this raise get to be blown up here. This, yes, not. Beyond, I say Beyond Awesome should blow up his raise there to.
I think Beyond Awesome is going to try and. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much reason to keep the Razor on. He's going to try and make the game last longer, I think, and get the Fairgrounds to 4 points.
Yeah, I wasn't totally paying attention to his turn there, but this is a really kind of pretty bad top deck for Beyond Awesome. I don't know if that could have been avoided or not.
No, he went through it too fast. I didn't catch it. Games you could have. That was weird. Oh yeah, he'd already top deck. Oh, he'd already drawn a province, so he wasn't making it.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. I don't. I'm not sure on the duchy, but I guess it's right. This will be a province for sure. He needs to keep copper though, for it to be guaranteed.
Yeah. Because
Well, maybe I don't know exactly what he has in the deck, so.
Yeah, well, he only has the 4 green cards, right? So I think
Yeah,
he
so
can pitch
he
it.
doesn't have to keep the copper to guarantee it, but he might have to kill a raise to get it if he still has one. And he still has one, I think. He would have to kill raise to guarantee it, but this is fine. These are my. This is definitely my least favorite style of Dominion game.
Oh yeah, these are rough because you're spinning. You have to do this spinning wheel thing. There's no way you can't, and it's just not good.
Yeah. So PA just gets another fairgrounds here. Gamesou was first player, so he can open up a tie, which Beyond Awesome will. Okay, so no tie availability. Beyond Awesome might pull this out because I don't know. No, I guess Gamesou can get a 4-point fairgrounds as well. But Beyond Awesome can take the. No, he can't take the province necessarily.
No.
Never mind. So gamesou wants to hit 6 here.
We are going to see how these decks start performing a little differently with Beyond Awesome having a bit more silver than gamesou does, because we're going to see them trade this green for a while probably. Although I think if gamesou gets in the position to offer a tie, I think he will.
gamesou actually can't. Well, gamesou can hit 6 here, but then he doesn't have 10 uniques anymore. So the
Oh,
raise
right.
is needed for 10 uniques.
That puts him in a
So,
fairly tough
so
spot.
I'm not sure.
Because Beyond Awesome would love to just trade Fairgrounds back and forth for a while, or trade Fairgrounds for Duchies. And Beyond Awesome should green maybe slightly better than gamesou, I would think, as this game goes on.
Yeah, this board is just a perfect storm of horrible things. You got the mountebank versus but competitive trashing. It's just filtered cantrip nonsense. And then you've got so much all VP.
Yeah. At least it doesn't have like Wolf Den and Museum and stuff. And Keep.
Like keep. That would be the worst. Keep.
That'd be awful.
Wolfden would be pretty awful too. Oh man.
So, what do you think about Gamesoo summoning that Gladiator? It doesn't. It makes a little bit of sense for the Fairgrounds thing to me, but passing on points for a turn seems a little risky.
Well, now Beyond Awesome can buy a province
Yeah.
if he wants, and he's playing all this cartographers. He may be able to uh, set up a pretty nice turn. That was actually really weird to draw. Well, maybe he wants to clean up all the green stuff. He's got to get one of these silvers, but he probably wants to find any of the remaining green cards at the bottom of his deck to get rid of.
It was weird to play the Sentry there over the Cartographer, I think. Because you want to set up yourself up clean against a not shuffle here. Because this is a pretty bad shuffle to trigger.
Yeah.
It's actually
And I
awful.
think he botched that up.
It's like really, really awful shuffle to trigger.
Well, it's got his gold, right?
Yeah. It just also has
Oh man,
6
he
green
can't.
cards in it.
Unless I've counted incorrectly. He can't actually trash the raise.
Yeah, probably not safely. It might be winning.
I mean, he can't do it. Well, how many fairgrounds does he have? Does he have all
He has
three?
3, right? So it cost him 6 points. If he can province, he
Okay.
still wins.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the gold is in there, I think.
Yeah, but also, how many green cards a bunch? There might be like 4 in there. In which case, if there are like 4 green cards in there, I think there's at least 3. Maybe you have to take the chance because his next turn is just gonna die anyways.
gamesou had a nice turn last time, and I think if he'd played it a little more carefully, he couldn't have set up a guaranteed province this turn, but he could have done a lot less damage
Yeah.
than he ended up doing.
Well, this is a big decision for Beyond Awesome. If he trashes the raise and it's bad, nope.
No, he just does the safe thing.
All right, so he only had 2 green cards down there, so I guess it's fine.
I mean, he's okay. Well, it's kind of hard to hit fairgrounds here for him, but I guess at Dutchy's fine.
Yeah.
So gamesou can do 4-point fairgrounds now, but it'll be a little hard for him to catch before Beyond Awesome hits a province.
Yeah. He gave up a lot of a lot of points to get there.
Unless BA totally whiffs.
Yeah. Well, BA needs to totally
Which
whiff a couple times,
he
right?
did not. Well, if he had just completely missed 5 or 6 here.
That's true. True.
Actually, just hitting 5 is not good enough.
Yeah.
So
Although gamesou here is going to have a little trouble hitting 8 potentially.
yeah, the Gladiator doesn't play nice with the mountebank.
I think I would just stop here. He does. Well, I guess he had no choice. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so BA doesn't even, or gamesou doesn't even find get the fairgrounds, so
He will hit 5.
he may not even get the. Actually, I guess he's pretty guaranteed to get 5. He knows that Beyond Awesome doesn't have mountebank.
Yeah.
So he's good on that front, but
now BA just has to hit 5.
But if Beyond Awesome hits 6 here, then he's.
Well,
so
you love seeing that
that's
topper.
good enough.
Yeah.
Isn't it? If gamesou can get 6 here and set up a province turn next time, then he should win.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless Beyond Awesome top decks Treasure.
Yeah. I don't think Beyond Awesome is in a situation anymore where he can't afford to trash that raise, because it would be 8 points at this point. Maybe he is though. He's up. Well, he's up 8, right? So if gamesou takes fairgrounds here, that's 4 points for him. Beyond Awesome can trash the raise, lose 8 points by a province, and win.
Do they split the fairgrounds?
Does he have 5? If he has 5, that doesn't work. I guess he probably does have 5. Yeah, he has 5.
So that doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if gamesou buys a fairground.
Right. Which is... he can make it guaranteed.
That was all a bit weird.
Yeah. He top decks the copper. That's a bit strange to me.
I guess it's okay with the gold and the Gladiator, but otherwise it's not so good.
Oh, he chooses to trash. Oh, that's smart.
Of course, we're missing the obvious thing.
Yeah.
I wonder if he had something like that the last time we were talking about doing the raise.
Oh, sorry about me. The Twitch is I freak out the window when I'm trying to change the score. Uh, he might have.
I don't remember now what that hand looked like. But yeah, trashing cartographer, that gets around the issue. Well, that was nice. Beyond Awesome played that nicely to get the game long enough where he could come back there. Though I
Yeah,
guess realistically their decks were never all that different.
yeah,
gamesou was just a bit ahead on the province stuff.
yeah. gamesou was ahead maybe a half turn on like turn 4, but in a game like that, that only matters so much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it doesn't work unless you do actually get the province every turn. And
Yeah.
that's not easy to just to guarantee.
Well, that took forever. I don't know how long the game took, but it took forever.
The first two were pretty quick.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one was very quick, and the second one they played it pretty quick, even though it had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Or I
Uh,
felt like they played it pretty quick.
yeah, I think they
Maybe
played
I'm
them.
just remembering the good times in comparison to this one.
Yeah, everything seems quick compared to that. This is a weird board too. I guess it's just got to be like you want all the patricians and to put plus card on them and stuff. I guess.
How can you? Oh, the peasant. Yeah. It's really the only thing. So you still, I guess, play with ambassador here too. Thin. I guess am peasant is the opening.
Yeah, seems that way. I think if it wasn't for Platinum Colony, there's maybe like there's probably not, but there's maybe a chance you could get away with just doing a bandit thing and running down provinces.
I'm not even sure if that would work with just provinces.
I'm not sure either. I just
But
think it would win sometimes. I think, as opposed to
yeah,
your road win none of the time.
yeah. The it would be really. Oh wait, inheritance doesn't borrow bonus tokens. Never mind. I was gonna say it'd be really great to somehow hit a inheritance before the patricians are gone.
You can do it with Counting House in the perfect draw.
Yeah. Well then, just go for that.
Just play Counting House Bank.
I don't think do operator asked about inherit patrician, but as we were talking, I don't think you'll hit 7 before they're gone. I wouldn't
Yeah,
expect you to anyway. Especially you play ambassadors, you'll have $2 hands or $2 turns somewhat sometimes,
yeah.
and they'll get soaked up.
This is a board that makes me wish that we were watching like very new Dominion players, and we just got to watch like Counting House Bank stuff and someone else play Philosopher's Stone.
Right.
I don't really like these boards that are like super low powered like this, but you have to play this kind of tight engine.
No, me either. I would rather have some explosive by far. I mean, I like mega turns and stuff way better than slow build up stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind too much if it's explosive or not, but I just want to play like a deck that, does something before turn 18.
Yeah. There's not even anything really that nice to do. There's not anything to do with advance either. It's basically a dud here.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want any of this anything here that's more expensive than any other action. You mostly want the twos.
Yeah. We'll
How
see if
aggressive
they
do you
mirror.
Yeah, how aggressive do you think like getting patricians early is good here?
I mean, I would double patrician if I have 4 and 2 buys.
Yeah, it seems like those are going to be pretty important.
So here he'll get 3 of them. So gamesou had a nice shuffle.
looks,
Beyond Awesome had a sort of crappy shuffle.
yeah, that looks almost winning, really.
Gamesou even gets a Emporium already, which is nice.
Yeah, and there's just nothing here to buy at this point unless you really hit five. So um, it does very much
And
seem
getting the
like,
first Emporium might mean you get 4 of them to your opponent's 1.
yeah,
Oh no. Yuck.
no
Gross.
gold. That's weird.
Like,
Uh,
you're realistically, well, maybe not realistically, but you have a decent shot of really running away with that split if you buy one earlier than your opponent.
yeah, he's
Just
still
because
in
of
it.
how much they help you.
Yeah,
So maybe the gold will do that too, but I'm a little skeptical of it.
yeah, and you wouldn't. I guess here. I mean, it's not actually certain that the gold would have done it, and another card wouldn't have. But yeah, I'd still rather have just the Emporium in my deck already and not have the gold, even if I didn't hit five again. He's not even going to choose to hit five. I'm not sure about that. I think the Patricians and Emporia are so important here that I'm not sure about getting a little bit of extra thinning when you're in a decent
Yeah.
spot.
I guess we'll see. It's not.
It's not obviously wrong to me though.
It may pay off for him. I
He
really hope he
also,
buys an Emporium now, though.
yeah, he has
Like, what
to.
else could you even be considering?
Yeah, it would be insane to not. If he lines up Disciple and Emporia here, that seems like
No, what we need now is the Patrician to draw both of them. That would be the turn.
that'd be pretty sweet. Yeah, here's the
Oh
one
yeah,
part of
you
the
can
game where advance
advance.
is
You can
good.
advance for Emporiums. That's good. That makes sense.
Oh, and
We found the
Beyond
gold.
Awesome gets the Discipled Emporium here. So he
Yeah.
might
So,
get three of them.
um, yeah, it's gonna look like. Well, it depends on what exactly Beyond Awesome draws here, but he's got a reasonable shot of buying an Emporium too. So
Right, which puts him right back in the game. If gamesou is more aggressive with these Emporia, and if you get seven of that pile, you just win. Right, there's nothing else
yeah,
happening here.
but we're gonna get 5. We're gonna have a split here, an even split here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not actually sure which one is better to have more of, to be honest. But
Yeah, probably the patricians, I would
yeah,
think.
I think I'm leaning towards those as well. Man, these decks are gonna be. I don't know what you do. I mean, what do you do after you get your labs? Do you just buy like banks and platina? I mean,
Yeah, I
you could
mean,
put you could put plus action on something, I guess, but what is it? I guess
yeah,
you
because
could try to put buy on something.
yeah, but you don't even have it. Like, there's not even another target that you can. Like, you can put buy on. I guess
No.
what you'll do
I
is you'll
mean,
put buy on
you could
peasant,
put
maybe.
you could put plus action on miser.
True.
So gamesou inherits miser, which is super weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if he. I wonder if he thinks you get the bonus, the teacher bonus from inherited things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I would have advanced that peasant to another Emporium
Yeah,
and bought a peasant,
yeah, that
but
seems.
that's okay too.
The more Emporia seem pretty clearly better.
I guess he's just counting on disciples to be. I mean, your disciples can be your plus action here. Um, if you have a couple of them. I don't get the misers, but
Yeah, I don't really know what they do. Like, there's better targets here if you just want something for like plus buy or money or something. I mean, not that like peasant's great or anything, but I don't
There's
know.
really not great targets, but I just don't see the inheritance being the way to do it. I can see doing something with Miser here, but it would
Yeah,
involve just putting a teacher token on it, um, not inheriting them.
right.
I still think it's pretty wild to not use advance to get Emporiums.
Yeah, why? Right, you could. He has the two buys. He could advance the ambassador and buy it and get another Emporium. I think, and he's not
I mean, I
even
would have just
playing the.
advanced the. I would have just played the ambassador, return 2 copper, and advanced the peasant.
Yeah, yep,
Just keeping the coppers again is, I don't know. He's not working to be thin.
yeah.
I guess he's got beliefs in his estate misers. Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's even this deck is going to be okay with the miser thing because it'll draw itself. But I would just rather get some platina, put plus buy on something, and kind of go on my way because the deck's never going to be that great here. Because even if you put plus action on miser, you're still limited to. I guess you have the disciples for some extra action, so you can do extra stuff. But I don't know. I don't claim to be an expert on boards like this that are so limited in what you can do.
I just typically prefer the or building order of get clean, get draw to what gamesou is doing, where he's mixing stuff in before he's ready to really use it. I guess is how I would describe it.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that makes
but
sense.
I don't know. Like I can see a deck if you get 5 of the lab things and you have a disciple or two and you get your plus action on miser and you get your plus buy on peasant or something, that's a nice deck. I mean, that can do multiple colonies, right?
Right,
um,
and it
it
builds
takes
pretty
a long time to
fast.
build that, but there's nothing else here.
Right, it doesn't build super
um,
fast, but you can spend 6 turns setting that up and still be in fine shape.
yeah, so I mean that deck seems like worthwhile to go for, but you don't do estates as misers because they're not they don't get the teacher token bonus.
Right,
And I mean, the only other thing I would think would just be to have some of the labs and have platina, right?
right.
Platina or bank, and just buy colony straight. Um,
Yeah, I think those are the only two real options here. They seem
and in the
close.
game itself, of course, it could develop to the point where one of your options is just play ambassador as much as you can, right? And try and wreck their
Yeah,
deck. So that, I mean, that's another path too. You could get plus action on ambassador
right.
and try to play, 2 or 3 ambassadors a turn. That might also win by virtue of making their turns do, nothing.
Yeah, I think that especially works
But
if you win the draw split like 6-4 or something, and you can really kind of slam
yeah,
them and they can't send it back.
yeah. But if they can get to a point where they play an ambassador a turn, it's probably not going to pan out for you.
Right.
So
Because you have to be
the
way
game
ahead.
seems the game seems like it'll last long enough that Miser can do some stuff.
They seem to be getting bored and leaving. I don't blame them.
Yeah, we may be here for 4 hours. We need Nothing against Beyond Awesome, but gamesou's closer to winning, so we're just gonna root for him.
Yeah.
That's probably I need to like trick the universe and root for the person I don't want to or something, because
Yeah.
it'll get turned around on me.
Yeah, I guess. Well, ultimately the uncaring nature of it all should prevail. But uh,
Oh, Beyond Awesome lost his internet.
oh,
He says in Discord, "Hey guys, my internet went out," or something.
all right. Well, he obviously has some form of internet if he can post on Discord. So hopefully we should see him back at some point.
Yeah, but it may just be like his phone. Well,
True.
I mean, I would guess 100% it's his phone. If
Do
only
we?
that we had that. If only we had iPhone or Android apps. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, he can't log in. I was about to ask if we were about to see him go to a coffee shop to finish this.
I hope it's because of these Dominion Streams accounts somehow breaking something.
Just whatever strengthens our argument for
Can
quitting this
can
Twitch stuff.
gamesou see this? Did they turn spec chat off?
I, yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if we can try and get in contact with gamesou. He has a Discord, but he doesn't use it really.
Yeah. Are
Oh,
they
now it
playing
says you're
unrated?
reconnected.
They are playing. Oh, okay. Good.
Hopefully.
So say if they're playing unrated, they could just one of them could resign and they could come back. The new server game. All right.
When gamesou sees his turn, he'll be wondering what took so long. I hope Beyond Awesome at least tells him.
He
It's
says,
just
right,
like,
gamesou has no way of knowing. He has no one's told him.
you just didn't say a thing. He was gone for like 10 minutes. It wasn't 10 minutes, but
I guess you would have to figure as gamesou that there's some sort of something was happening outside of thinking.
yeah. Just make him wonder.
Maybe that's a tactic. Just make him sit in his chair and wait.
So, how did that Emporium split go? So gamesou did get 6 of the 10 drawers. So that's really nice
Yeah, now
for him.
he has to figure out how to deal with this miser stuff while he's still not clean.
You should just like make sure the game lasts forever.
Yeah.
And he should win pretty easily. This is funny. I would play teacher and pass. Well, that's maybe not true. I might play teacher and buy a month. Well, no. It's funny how little you can actually do on your turn.
Yeah. Until you get multiple disciples and you're all the way clean, these turns are still going to look pretty bad for a while.
Yeah. Beyond Awesome has a shot at doing the ambassador attacking. Never mind.
Nope, he's switching to
He
bandit.
does more. So now gamesou should definitely play for a long game.
Yeah, right. He
It's
should be
hard
the
to
one that does the
it's
ambo
hard to
thing.
move through the disciple, or it's hard to move through the traveler line too
Right.
without any plus action, because
Yeah,
you've got all these terminals you feel like you want to play. They may just both end up with messy decks. We'll see if gamesou stays disciplined or not.
Yeah,
Um,
because you really do have to
boy,
stay disciplined.
boy, I sure don't get the inheritance.
I'm not sure he does either in his defense.
What I hope the whole payoff is that gamesou thinks that the teacher tokens work with inheritance, and then we finally get to the point where he puts the plus actions on misers, right?
Yeah.
And then he figures it out, and then he resigns. But it still is like 15 turns from now.
Yeah, that's forever from now. So now Beyond Awesome has these four terminals. I don't know
Right.
what he's planning on doing with that.
I guess he's gonna plus action bandit.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that path. He can, at least this next turn, I guess he has a shot at plus actioning bandit and getting the fugitive, so he gets a little closer to disciple.
Yeah. And
So
he
they
can just
both
try
are
and gold
drawing
flood.
now. I would play a soldier, I think, here. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, Games's deck is gonna at some point sort of be much more explosive than Beyond Awesome. The only question is, can Beyond Awesome kind of gold flood fast enough? I doubt it, but it doesn't seem impossible to me.
I think his best bet was actually trying to do the ambassador path.
Yeah, because he's significantly cleaner than Gamesu.
Yeah. But I don't think the bandit stuff's going to pan out.
There's just too many turns left in this game. And the gold's not good enough on this board.
I mean, because realistically, gamesou is going to have a deck with decent treasures as well.
And he'll draw each turn, whereas Beyond
And he'll
Awesome will
have
not.
just a notice better draw. I just don't get the 50 golds.
At least he
He
managed
is
to.
very clean, though.
He is, and he managed to toss Gamesu's teacher back into the discard, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. The gamesou doesn't really have a great target. Guess
No.
he could do peasants. I agree with the pass there.
Yeah.
So here, Beyond Awesome has a really good shot at, I guess, getting to platinum. Well, maybe not really good with this opening hand.
Yeah.
The scary thing will be if gamesou gets to 2 or 3 disciples. That's where there's going to be trouble for
Yep.
Beyond Awesome.
And once Gamesu gets his first disciple, the rest will start coming a lot faster. Well, Gamesu's not going to try and play it clean.
Greening.
That gives the bandit thing much more of a chance.
Your audio is getting a little
Bad.
wonky.
That might also just be my voice. Let me try. I can try switching over. I think I can do it without dropping. We'll see how it goes. So Beyond Awesome chooses not to play his bandits there.
Try Serial asks if we introduced the cards at the start of the game. We did not. But we can talk about them now.
Yeah.
Since there's not that much to talk about in the game. Well, actually, now the turns are getting. Maybe if you can you hear? Are you
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe it's worth right clicking a few of the cards.
Yeah, we can go through the
Or
important ones.
he maybe we can do it at the start of the next game.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make more sense. It'll be hard in the middle of this one. Um,
So, right, so Beyond Awesome chose not to play his bandits last turn, so he's trying to stay sort of clean and play this plus buy thing, which it seems like if you've already bought two bandits, that doesn't seem like a sensible approach to me.
no, I mean he bought a horse traders. I don't quite see what that's doing.
Like, if I were him, I would be thrilled that gamesou decided to just start greening, and I would just try and do that right alongside him.
I think gamesou probably put action on peasant. I don't see what else he would do on his teacher turn. You could also
Yeah,
just leave the teacher on the mat since it's not necessarily doing a huge amount. So he doesn't play the bandits again, which is really strange.
yeah. It's clear that he's trying to be clean and do something with that and try to like maybe bury gamesou or something or just play this platinum stuff. But so I think from where his deck was, I don't agree with that approach. So if you can play two bandits a turn, for not only do you have a decent chance of hitting gamesou's platinum, which with the way that gamesou's playing this would be reasonable, um, reasonably good thing to do. But you also can just really green hard and possibly outrun gamesou on points from what was before, I think, a losing position.
Well, it's like you just gave yourself two curses or something and spent a
Yeah,
teacher call. I don't. It's awfully strange.
yeah, yeah. And again, right, I'm not saying that the bandit thing is clearly worth doing. I'm saying once you've bought the bandits, I think it's obvious that it's clearly the correct thing to just keep playing them. There's something to be said for being clean and having control. I don't see it here.
I mean, it may be that the bandit was just so terrible that it actually is better to totally backtrack.
It's
Um,
certainly possible. But then he buys Colony here. So I'm just confused. I think it only makes sense to backtrack out of the bandit thing if you're gonna try to stay clean and build the double colony with some platinum and play the ambassador every turn and do that sort of thing. Because he's gonna get outrun here by gamesou if he just does this.
I guess your audio is probably only breaking up on my end since it's going through Discord, and it's probably fine going to Twitch since it's going there directly,
Yeah,
more
I
or
did.
less directly.
Yeah, that's weird. I did switch over to the Discord desktop application, which is usually fine audio for me. Let me try restarting the call real quick though, see if that works.
I mean, it could just be on my end. I'm on the app too because I also find that the app works much better for the audio. But
Yeah, I'll give you a quick recall here just in case it helps. All right, but yeah, gamesou is seems in a pretty winning position at this point.
except his next hand is junk.
Yeah.
think his next hand is like it's one. Well, he'll be able to make a nice shuffle, but the turn will be pretty bad, I think.
Yeah.
He's got 5 of his labs out, and then I think the rest is like estates and estates and copper in one of the labs.
Yeah.
You really have to like pass on a lot of buys here. He could have double colonied instead of doing the miser place on tavern mat, which might have been worth it to go ahead and do here. The peasant, I don't quite follow getting additional peasants here, but
Yeah. It seems like kind of the part of the game where points are your friend.
I don't know why he would need. He was already not really using the buys he had very well, so I don't know why he would need more.
Yeah.
He's not exchanging them up, so
So you play one of these bandits here since you can draw, or you can play both of the bandits and draw both the golds.
I mean he hasn't done it any other turn so far.
Yeah, I think this is the first turn he has the overdraw though.
I mean he had it. I mean he had overdraw last turn and he didn't do it.
Okay. That's a weird discard.
That was weird.
Because now you might leave the topper on top.
Well, I assume he's just not going to play it, but well, I forgot his patrician had plus card too.
Yeah.
But you still shouldn't have discarded a copper. You should have discarded
Yep.
one of the 6s or anything that wasn't copper or ambassador.
Yeah, it did not end up hurting him, but it seems it's like objectively a worse way to do it.
Yeah. And like I would have thought that getting the double colony there would have been. I guess you couldn't quite manage that, but so maybe never mind on that.
Yeah, I think you could do it if you didn't play the ambassador, but that's probably worse. Although maybe not. I don't know.
Gamesou just ends up $1 short of colony here.
How many toppers does he have down on the mat?
Got 6. So just a little bit short.
I guess maybe he's thinking about playing the soldier, the teacher.
If I played teacher, I would just never call it again. Probably.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Might play soldier. I mean, you could get a province now, I guess, but that's probably too soon. It might not be though to get a province.
Yeah, I think province seems fine to me. There's few enough turns left.
Yeah, I don't think it's very likely to get the soldier up to a disciple and get a use out of it.
Yeah, it would just become a fugitive, which would be a better card than soldier, but
yeah,
I'm not sure if that's worth it. The discard attack does more than nothing, but not a ton.
Yeah, I think I would not play teacher. I think I'd go with the province or the fugitive.
Yeah.
He is at least going with the miser. We'll see what he buys. Could just buy platinum too. That's not totally crazy.
Yeah. We could go double towning house as well.
I would expect gamesou to have at least one double colony turn game. I wouldn't be surprised if either one got one, but
Yeah. If Beyond
here
Awesome's able
gamesou
to,
can
it was a tough draw.
here gamesou can colony and I guess gain an estate miser and put a copper on the mat.
Yeah, it's a point.
I mean, I think the decks are hard to build here, but I don't think it has to be as uncontrolled and kind of messy as these turned out to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that GameSu transitioned to the miser thing too fast, and then he could never get actual control of his deck, and then he just started greening. And Beyond Awesome could have also played this ambassador control deck that could have been pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Chose
It
to take
takes a long
advantage.
time to get to the deck you want, but once you're there, it's so much better than something like this.
Yeah, and handing out the curses here is pretty good. They're kind of
Yeah.
annoying for like games who would have a lot of trouble getting rid of them.
Oh yeah, I mean the focused ambassador thing, plus action on ambassador instead of plus action on bandit, would have just crushed gamesou, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, eventually he gets colonies through his misers, but I think it slows down. But I also think gamesou had a real shot to, maybe not, but with 6 of the draw cards to build a really nice deck.
absolutely.
Trader is not much, or horse trader is not much better than peasant here as a source
Yeah,
of buy.
and
It's a
early
little
on
bit
it's
better. Like here,
worse.
he's getting a little bit extra out of it, but
Yeah, I think early on it's worse, and with the draw he has, it was worse earlier. But now it's probably a shade better.
even I mean, still like he has 2 of them. It's got to be too much because
Yeah,
you can't. Like it's $1 less. If it were a peasant, he'd have $1 more,
yep.
which may not, the exact amount may not matter, but it's definitely less here. I would definitely double colony. I think if I were Beyond Awesome. Of course, I have the advantage of being able to see gamesou's hand.
Yeah, I think like going. Does he have enough to go like colony double province?
Um,
What does he after he just plays his cards? So we don't have to do math.
yeah, he
Yeah,
can do that.
I think that if not seeing Gamesu's hand, I think that makes a decent amount of sense because then it puts Gamesu in a tough position if Gamesu can only single colony.
Yeah.
Which is
Gamesou
all he
can
can do.
colony estate, I guess, but that'll still lose to colony duchy.
Yeah, which Beyond Awesome has a pretty decent chance at reaching. And we'll just play for
Well,
4 hours.
yeah. With his opening hand, maybe not in general, but with his opening hand, he definitely does.
Yeah,
He really just needs to find the buy.
yeah.
Well, and some more cash, but
I guess,
gamesou is in this situation where he's very likely to be able to do one colony,
Yeah.
but it's a little hard for him to do. Well, he can. His ideal thing is like peasant in hand, disciple miser is pretty nice for starting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's another peasant. So this is a total dud for gamesou next turn.
It's a
Uh,
province.
does he have 7 coppers down? Yeah, he
Yeah.
does. Oh, okay. But it's still bad enough to where Beyond Awesome will be able to take a lead here, I would think.
Beyond Awesome didn't get to double province, which would have been pretty nice for him.
Yeah. He gets to disciple Patrician here at the start of this turn, which is pretty nice. I think that's a guaranteed 6 cards. I'm almost certain it's a guaranteed 6 cards, just as Patrician isn't in this shuffle.
Patrician's gone. Was an ambassador, right? Or did he advance that?
I'm not sure.
He still has ambassador and horse trader, so it's not.
Gotcha. He has he had 2 horse traders in that other hand,
Oh,
but
did
the
he?
ambassador's still down there. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah, sorry. I thought. Yeah, okay. It's very likely anyway.
Yeah.
Success.
Oh, this is nice. This is it, right?
To double colony.
But double province wins.
Oh yeah, that's the game. Hooray!
And he has the double colony.
It was double colony. Nice.
All right.
Well, it's good. It's good that clean decks win.
Yeah.
Cleaner decks win.
So looking back, it was actually probably the correct decision for him to stop playing those bandits. I don't know. He might have won even playing the bandits and playing the messier deck, but gamesou definitely played that really strangely with the miser stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you really shouldn't be losing that if you win the Patrician Emporium split.
Yeah.
6-4. That's not completely true, but it's a good indicator of being ahead.
Yeah. So this board's pretty gross too, but it'll be faster.
Can do Tactician Storeroom Tunnel. Looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I think so.
I guess we could ask the dry cereal if there's any cards in particular you don't know, or if you want us to talk about several of them.
Yeah, it's hard to go through all 10 of them in this sort of setting.
Yeah, but we could talk about Storeroom, Tunnel, and Tactician, right?
Yeah, right. So Storeroom, you can discard any number of cards, draw them, and then discard again. So you have a pretty good reach, so you can discard a lot of cards to find the Tunnel. And when you discard the Tunnel, you can gain a gold, which in a game like this, where the deck isn't going to build that much because there's no way to play like multiple actions per turn, that's going to be pretty good. And then Tactician lets you discard what you have in hand in order to get 5 cards plus 1 action and plus 1 buy at the start of your next turn. So you start with 10 card hands after you play Tactician. So that's sort of the main thing to do here.
Sentry as well is pretty important here.
Right, Sentry helps get you cleaned up to set that stuff up pretty nicely. But
so Sentry will trash cards and also discard cards from the top of your deck, so it can both activate the tunnels and get rid of your starting estates and coppers, so that you can play your good cards rather than your garbage cards.
Right.
So both of them are bot sentries. They both have the 5/2, which is nice. And Beyond Awesome is taking the Tactician already. He hasn't managed to Beyond Awesome hasn't managed to trash any estates, which is a little sad
Indeed.
for him.
You can do a little bit of precise trashing with the storeroom sentry stuff.
Yep. If you have a tactician.
Right.
But there's some question to me of whether tactician is even worth it. I didn't really like this tactician buy.
Yeah, that
I
seems a
don't
little
think he's
early.
going to get much use out of it. I
Yeah.
think you can probably play pretty straight storeroom tunnel with just
Yeah.
sentry. Should be pretty good. And tactician could help that some, but I'm not sure exactly where to put it in.
Yeah, I think that's pretty clearly kind of what you do. I think the storeroom tunnel thing is messy enough and fast enough because storeroom has so much reach um, to where it makes sense to do. I think if I'm beyond awesome here, I don't actually play the tactician on this turn because it doesn't do anything for you. You have this deck full of
No.
sentries.
No, and you only have 4 coppers, so the next
Yeah,
turn all you do is buy the same thing you could buy this turn. So
yeah,
there's no point to the tactician was just too soon. It's not doing anything here, but
yeah, yeah.
for
I think that
gamesou, I think I would like a second sentry, but I could also see a storeroom now is fine to
yeah.
me.
At the storeroom, you get to see so many cards when you play it that storeroom tunnel can really generate golds and province really quickly. It's one of the better with along with embassy. It's probably the best tunnel enabler as far as just playing straight tunnel stuff goes.
So gamesou has a shot of activating a tunnel here. Again, he's not drawing really very well with sentries in his estates, but gamesou just gets another sentry. Just sentry and tunnel is not good enough. You have to have the storeroom too.
Yep. I don't even know what playing that tactician does for you.
It doesn't. It makes this next turn worse. That's all it does for you.
Yeah.
Guarantees your sentry does jack squat. gamesou should probably not just buy a million sentries.
Yeah. You really want the storeroom.
So he got a tunnel. I almost think it makes more sense to get storm first, but I'm probably not. But he should definitely get a storm this turn.
Yeah. This tactician setup that Beyond Awesome has is decent.
So now he can finally trash 2 estates,
Mm-hmm.
guaranteed. Though if he wants to discard tunnel, it's not guaranteed anymore. But one estate trash is guaranteed.
Yeah, and I think it's fine to discard the tunnel and worst case scenario, you get another gold out of it, and on this board, gold seems fine. Like
Yeah.
taking a gold instead of another estate seems fine.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, they're at the point where they'll be just printing lots of golds.
Yeah. Do you take double tunnel here? Or is that too much?
I don't know. 3 might be too much. I can see it, but
I could also see tunnel storeroom maybe.
mm-hmm.
He isn't.
Yeah, you would really like to have a storeroom in your hand each
Yeah.
turn. And collisions aren't like such a thing.
Right. They're pretty fine.
gamesou also got a tactician. It doesn't move me a huge amount. But it's nice at the end to be able to threaten double provinces in a
Yeah,
lot of situations. So that's pretty good. I
definitely.
don't know if he'll quite get enough golds to get there, but
I'm not sure if Beyond Awesome should play this Tactician or not. It's probably correct. But
yeah, I think probably it's worth it there. If I'm gamesou here, I would discard all of the state copper and tunnel. And I guess again I would have discarded the copper, I think, but
yeah.
I guess he's already at double province this turn.
Yep. It seems pretty clear to go ahead and just do that.
So alternating double province and maybe nothing. I mean, you're not going to always draw your tactician right at this top of your shuffle, so that's
Yeah.
not
You should,
necessarily
yeah.
thing,
You should still get a province even if you don't find your Tactician.
Yep.
I think Beyond Awesome is a little bit ahead here just on sort of turn order, where it's going to be a little awkward for gamesou to take some of these provinces potentially in terms of the dance. I'm not certain about that, but it seems like it might develop that way.
Can Beyond Awesome double province on this turn?
I'm not certain.
Does he have that many golds left? I don't know what's left in his deck.
He has the second storeroom, which is going to be helpful for that.
I guess he does have 16.
He should just leave those on top, or I guess trashing them is better, obviously.
I'm not sure on he may it may be a points thing at some point, but I guess gamesou here should probably not play this. I mean, he can play the storeroom, but not use the storeroom.
Yeah, you don't want to skip your tactician.
He can
Not
still
sure.
province tunnel or province storeroom. I think I would storeroom. Be really nice if this sentries can find his tactician.
Yeah, that's if you find your tactician first here, I think you just win. Not I think you do just win.
Yeah, it's just who can get the double province with the tactician. Though, if they add enough green cards, the double tactician is not really fully guaranteed. At least it's harder for gamesou with only one storeroom. You could whiff on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
the
if
deck's
you get
pretty small, but
yeah. Right, if you get a storeroom in hand, it's pretty much guaranteed because the reach again is so good with it, but it's not guaranteed that gamesou does find that storm. I don't know. Do you pitch both of those and try to find the tactician?
yeah, I definitely would. I don't think a duchy does anything for you.
Yeah. He manages to find it.
Yeah. I keep the estate now. I mean, I don't trash it.
Yeah.
Discard it, but don't trash it. So it looks like a solid win here. He could, maybe it's not actually possible. I'm trying to think if there's a dud where he doesn't get 16.
Well, he's got a lot of green cards. He'd have to find them, like all. This won't do that.
No. Not quite. This is going to be like triple province almost.
Yeah.
We're getting a full, or pretty close to a full set though. At least 6 games.
Yep. We'll get a full or fuller set. All right.
Beyond Awesome just had really bad century trashing luck at the start.
Yeah, that is
Though I
hitting two.
don't agree with his tactician timing at all.
Yeah, he caused some of it himself. But
Obviously, he still was in it. I mean, if gamesou had failed to find the tactician, then Beyond Awesome is playing his tactician, and he probably wins the game, or
yeah,
almost certainly wins the game. So he was still absolutely in it, but
and if he hits $3 instead of $2 earlier there, that puts him another maybe half turn faster. And um,
yep.
it's always a combination of play and draws. This game.
There was a thing. I mean, in that game, it wasn't a huge deal to have a whole lot more golds than your opponent.
No.
So the fact that he was a little bit slow, or quite a bit behind on that count, I guess, wasn't a big deal at all.
No.
It was more about getting tacticians down
Mm-hmm.
in the end game, I guess.
Right.
Not sure.
It's just, I mean, you could just like the deck there that just provinces and doesn't play tacticians at all isn't that much worse than what they were doing.
No, it just has way worse maneuvering around the end game.
Right. Which is why you have to play with the tactician. But if you just get ahead on points and anyways, it doesn't matter, of course, the in-game maneuvering.
Oh, it looks like everyone should go look and see an exciting new message sent out to all players on Dominion.games.
Oh, the previewed cards are coming immediately. I guess that means they worked. That's good. Hopefully, Beyond Awesome isn't going to go do that right now. Hopefully,
Well, they're not available. They're not available now,
yeah.
but they will be. They will be later in the week. Beyond Awesome must have lost his internet again. It would be oh, Beyond Awesome probably did tell him that he came back. I'm just noticing now that we can't see player chat. So
Weird.
he most likely did notify.
Yeah.
I laughed and was unfair.
It is weird that we can't see their chat. That's I bet it's not on purpose, particularly much, but I guess they can talk amongst themselves without fear of being scorned by the public eye, which I guess is worth something.
See if we ever get Beyond Awesome back. Someday.
I wonder if we'll get an interesting game of Dominion today. That'd be nice.
This last one was. I like this. I mean, I like
Yeah.
games like this last one.
Yeah, this last one was all right. It's just on the
And-
whole, we've gotten some kind of weird boards.
And the one before it was okay. I didn't like how they play it, but it was all right. It was
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting how to work around the restrictions, I guess,
Uh-huh.
in the board.
At least there was the one pile of cantrips. Without that, that board gets really, real weird. I have no idea what's going on.
I think
Are
we
they
need to
posting?
move tables. Beyond Awesome just DM'd me
Okay.
on Discord.
Gotcha.
They maybe have shifted tables.
All right, I'll try and find them.
All right, here
All
we
right.
are.
What don't you see?
We're already up to 2.5 hours.
Yeah, this has already been really long. If we have to go to a seventh, this is going to be ridiculous. When I signed up for commentating, I wasn't anticipating a 3.5 hour adventure.
There's always that risk.
Yeah.
Their play hasn't even been all that slow. It's just been the boards,
Yeah.
really.
Between the boards and Beyond Awesome's internet, it's
Yeah,
the,
that's made a big impact.
yeah, their play has been perfectly fine in terms of play speed.
Now there's like table issues.
Yeah. Can I play? Uh, oh.
Oh, good. Dawsonage can play.
Oh. I've never understood these people who just like go try to hop in tables. I've
Yeah.
never
They
occurred to
must
me as
like
an option.
they stock the tables list and they just jump in on places, which is it's funny.
Yeah, it is. It's silly.
I have like a form response I send to them when I'm waiting for someone.
You just have it in the clipboard ready.
Can gamesou still not join?
He's in spectators. I don't. These other people can. Okay. All right.
I do like that gamesou types into the Twitch chat, "Hi, this is gamesou." Next to is, I'm sure that's not how
Well,
it's pronounced. However, it's
whatever it is, he's
uh,
French, right?
he's French, so all right, here we go. They're gonna give us a good one, I can tell.
All right.
I
Let's hope
can
we get
feel it.
something crazy.
I just jinxed it, but I can feel it.
We get like horse traders money.
Yeah, maybe we get some Duke action.
Oh
I
yeah, that'd
haven't
be
played a
nice.
Duke game in a long time.
I have. I haven't won a Duke game in a long time, but I've played them.
Oh yeah.
I've played uncontested Duke in a losing fashion. All right, we're spinning for a while here.
Yeah, I'm not connected either.
This is great. Maybe Steph's message brought the servers down.
Yeah. Everyone's trying to find that. They think that the cards are up now and they're trying to find them.
All right, I'm gonna try coming back.
It's not that. I mean, it's just one of them isn't. The board doesn't load for anybody until both
Uh,
players.
oh, no, nothing.
Can you at people? Okay. Uh,
I keep getting little dings, like like someone's coming in and out.
Oh yeah, that happens. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay. So yeah, beyond also just having difficulties connecting. All right, switching browsers. That should hopefully do the trick.
No luck.
Yeah, Beyond Awesome's trying to switch to Firefox to see if that gets him in. This is gonna make for some great viewing of the YouTube rip.
Oh yeah, I mean this is gonna be a all-time
Oh, here we are.
most popular. Hooray! Oh,
Uh,
tough to disconnected. Tough to disconnected.
so this is Dungeon Tunnel. This is what we got.
Good. That's quick too.
All right.
Actually, I find that my views are almost. I haven't ever made a plot, so I'm maybe making this up. But then my views are almost entirely dictated by how long the video is, because people, I assume, don't sit and watch the whole thing, but come back and
Uh-huh.
watch. So they just get more views because it's longer because they uh, come back and watch it in multiple pieces.
Well, this would be the
Like if I
time for
ever
you
make
to
a
turn on
if I
ad
ever make a
revenue.
yeah if I ever make a 30-minute video, it has way less views than any of my other ones.
Huh.
Um,
So yeah, I guess this is it's Dungeon Tunnel. Do you use a guide at all, or do you just play Dungeon Tunnel? Do you play with market
guide's
squares?
pretty good too. Probably it's hard to say if a guide could ever be better than a tunnel. It can do some nice things, like if you play. Well, no. I mean, guides can still do some nice things. What's the only alternative here to do Vineyard,
Uh,
right?
yeah, Vineyard is possible because there's a lot of cheap actions you can
Yeah.
kind of spam. I don't think that's better. I think it might be competitive, but I don't think it's better. The Herbalist kind of helps Vineyard too a little bit, but the Dungeon Tunnel thing can take 8 provinces pretty quickly with a good amount of points.
Right. So the Vineyard thing would just be like stacks of dungeons also, but with like a trade route, and then market squares,
And
I guess, and
pawns.
guides and pawns.
Yeah.
Um,
Couple herbalists.
and you would really be, I don't know what you would push for your turns to look like. Like you would probably, you wouldn't do tunnel, I don't think. You probably would want gold though. So you'd probably activate your market squares a couple times with trade route,
Uh-huh.
but not more than that.
Uh,
Maybe three.
yeah, the
And then
vineyards
just,
thing can get basilica points too a little bit easier.
it's a, it's not a bad strategy. I don't know how it fares with the dungeon tunnel stuff, though.
Yeah.
If
It,
gamesou buys a trade route, we may see it.
yeah, I'd love to see it. Because you can get quite a few actions here, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, very very high value vineyard, no problem.
Dungeon Tunnel will get 8 provinces in, I'm not sure, maybe 20 turns. It's 8 provinces and like 4 tunnels. That might be enough time for the vineyard thing.
I think this. I think the smuggler's guide. I don't like that opening.
Yeah, that doesn't seem to lend too well to either strategy.
I really would like. I think the simple guide tunnel is better, or not guide dungeon tunnel.
Yeah,
Just play it pretty straight. Like here, he has a guide now. It would have been just way better to have a dungeon.
yeah,
So I'm not seeing it. I'm not actually seeing the heavy guide stuff at all.
yeah. You want
What that is doing for you. I don't mind having a guide, but not after I'm 5 gone by turn 4. I don't get it.
right. You want to play mostly dungeons here with some guide support rather than mostly guides with some dungeon support.
It's really a weird. The vineyard thing would be helped a lot if the trade route was like a steward,
Yeah.
or a remake would be the best thing
Hmm.
probably.
Or even like a hermit would be pretty nice.
Hmm. But the that makes it that buy from gamesou makes it look like he's going for or thinking about doing the vineyards, I guess. This is weird. I do not like how they've played it. When there's some really strong interaction, I rather focus. If I mean, if you're doing dungeons and tunnels, then like be laser focused on that.
Yeah. You want a lot of dungeons and a lot of tunnels.
And if you're gonna do something more complex, then I don't think it wants tunnels.
Right. The vineyards thing doesn't want tunnels. It seems pretty true. And I don't. There's nothing else here. You can't play anything else.
But again, so many guides.
Market Square is a bit weird. I think this
I
early.
still don't know which VP they're gonna go for. Like it kind of looks like they're both gonna do vineyards actually.
Yeah, it kind of does with the smugglers and the other stuff they're buying, and just with the fact that there's only 3 golds that have been taken at this point. Like the,
Yeah.
it's hard to take a lot of provinces if you don't have more golds than that at this point.
Yeah. So I expect them both to do the vineyard thing. But if I were doing the vineyard thing, I sure would have gone for trashing.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have really wanted the tunnel stuff
No.
because you want a lot of hands, or you have $4 to $6 and 2 to 3 buys.
GameStop just bought a copper for Basilica points,
That seemed
which is nuts. Which is just nuts to me.
Yeah, that's I would say that that seems nuts as well. There's so many points here that that just doesn't make sense. They are definitely strongly signaling the vineyard stuff. Oh, Beyond Awesome followed him on the copper buy for Basilica points.
Super weird.
I think Beyond Awesome's buy makes a little more sense as the last one, so you kind of get to deny a little bit. Just gamesou would have gotten the Basilica points here. Makes a
Right.
little more sense.
Someone should write an article that says dungeons better than guide. Just almost, unless you're refusing the guide to fight a discard attack.
End of article.
Yeah. As far as like setting up your turns go, dungeon is just way better.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is not really a game where you are worried so much about setting up your turns, but still.
Yeah, it's much better at finding stuff, and there's enough garbage in your deck this whole game to where I think it makes sense. If you're going vineyards here, I think you get the potion pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, before a shuffle, you'll want to because the decks are so fat. And maybe if you're really going to go for it, it would be nice to get 2 in before the shuffle.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what gamesou's trying to do.
This is just such a mishmash of how I would play it.
Yeah, they're playing right in the middle of both of the strategies. No one's doing one of them.
Yeah. You can get a potion now.
Yeah, I think I just take 2 potions and a pawn.
Yeah, I agree. He just didn't pick his thing. He just didn't pick between golden potion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to see a second potion.
Yeah. I guess he does have a million guides, so he can kind of guide around to his potion a lot, but
Yeah.
you want to have 5 of these vineyards. Even if you have a few less actions, having 5 of the vineyards is gonna win. Although with the tunnel stuff they're doing, I have no idea.
I guess Province pretty good too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
sitting here.
it's not the worst thing to have a deck that can do Provinces and Vineyard, but it still is. It makes the Vineyards a lot weaker.
Yeah,
What they have is decent at provincing. It was nice that he broke his smugglers. I guess he can get a gold. I guess he didn't want a gold.
yeah. I don't know. I think you clearly want gold over nothing.
So he just chose to not gain a gold there.
He may have not noticed that the gold was gained mid-turn. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. choose may not be the right word, but
Yeah.
Beyond Awesome bought another copper last turn again, which means I guess he thinks he's going to do gardens. Super weird.
Yeah, which definitely signals that he 100% just forgot about the mid-turn gain of the gold.
Right. Right. Pass on gold, take copper. It's not a common one.
I guess we get to see more copper buys here.
It's weird to have the copper buys when you have 0 gardens.
Yeah. Like, I do think the gardens here are going to be pretty good. It's just,
I mean, it can be like 4 points. It's almost as easy to buy provinces.
yeah, well, this game is going to last for forever. Well, I guess, like, we'll probably see
Sure.
gold pile. The vineyards will be there a little while, and then, like, there's not really a clear third pile. I'm not even sure the golds
I
are
mean,
going to
it could be
pile.
a ton. I mean, tunnels could run if they get antsy for points.
Yeah.
I mean, the gardens could make 5, I guess.
Yeah. But they,
But that would still take a long time.
yeah. And it's
I
still
mean,
less
they're
points
just
than
a
the other
little,
stuff.
yeah, they're just a little bit above 30 now.
Hmm. He has like 30, 33 to 35 or something like that.
Is he just refusing gold again? No, not this
All
time.
right. That seems better. And he takes another potion, so he's not even buying gardens yet.
Just buying coppers for fun, I guess. It's really weird. I don't like the play here.
Yeah. Because he's going to get in a situation where it's just hard for him to find turns where he can do more than one thing. What are we going to see him buy? Market Square Pawn and 3 coppers. And another potion.
The third potion is, it's even weirder. Her
It's not.
second is okay, but the third is just like,
Yeah. It's not that likely that he even gets to play it, right? Does I think gamesou, does he have 2? No, gamesou only has the 1 potion.
so maybe he'll get to use them all, but it says network error on Twitch.
It's weird. My Twitch feed is still looks to be working.
All right, it's good once I reloaded.
Yeah. I think Beyond Awesome's main hope here is that he does end up getting uh, all the rest of these vineyards, because those are a lot of points.
Well, he does get those. He doesn't have a huge amount of
Yeah,
actions.
these are kind of surprisingly low pointed vineyards. But I guess it makes sense given how kind of all over the place his build has been.
Yeah, it's too mixed. It's too mixed up for my taste. Way,
Right,
way too mixed up.
the real vineyards thing here does not leave 7 ponds still in the supply.
No, no, or even as many market squares or dungeons and things.
Yeah.
And man, a province dungeon tunnel just province thing would be pretty far through the. Well, it would probably be finished with the stack of provinces by now.
Yeah.
Maybe not every game, but
It'd at least be real close.
that's the only strategy that has any really is the province pile. I don't know if that's enough to make it good, better than vineyard, but it's the only one that can really end the game.
Yeah.
The vineyard one doesn't particularly want to end the game, but it just wants to go on forever and ever and ever since there's four stacks of cheap non-terminals.
Right. Yeah, if I were playing the dungeon tunnel thing here, my main worry would be that I just wouldn't be able to end the game fast enough, and then the vineyards thing has enough support to um, just take off on points.
I guess we'll see a finish here on gamesou might turn to tunnels after he gets these gardens emptied.
Yeah. So Beyond Awesome will finish off these gardens now.
Does that even help him? I guess I'm not sure what the counts are.
This it brings him. I think it helps him more than not doing it, because he's not going to hit 8 enough.
I didn't know what the vineyard split was, but I was thinking he could just buy 3 action cards. Maybe.
Maybe that might be. Although I think that 3 action cards would be, 5 points. I think. Well, the 2 gardens.
I know it's not
is
as many
10,
points, but it gets to this. Yeah, gamesou's right. The trader would give 6 now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Gamesou doesn't have
The
that many buys, so he's going to have a little trouble emptying the tunnels. But provinces will work fine for him.
I don't think there's any risk. I guess without knowing what the action count is here, like Province Pawn might be winning for Beyond Awesome if you buy the province.
Yeah, I don't know what the action or the card counts are.
But if you know what the status of the actions are, there may be pretty much no risk to taking the province.
Yeah.
But if he is just 1 or 2 away, he may be able to catch him.
This is definitely a board where a deck tracker would put in some serious work.
Mm-hmm. If it comes out close, a lot of games it just won't matter. you know, like it'll be the margins just won't be there for it to be relevant. I mean, I think that's the main reason why like tracking is not necessarily hugely advantageous. It's just the margins aren't relevant all that often, but
and it's really only in like games like this where it even starts to I think matter too much in terms of like being an advantage. I don't think it
I
really
mean,
helps you too much when you're building.
it's like clearly an advantage, but it's just also way down the list of things that help you play better, I would
Yeah.
think. But anyway,
All right. So gamesou wins the series. We come in a little under three
congratulations,
hours.
gamesou. Yep, we made it under 3, so we're good to go. Uh, Thank you, Beyond Awesome and gamesou, for the interesting games. Definitely not. We only had one like full engine and then, well, 2 full engines really, and then a lot of sifting stuff
Yeah, we didn't
without draw.
see a whole lot of village smithy stuff. I think if I don't know
Yeah,
if we had any.
we didn't. No, Mining Village Watchtower was the closest thing to that.
Yeah,
So, but we didn't really see the Watchtower used for draw much there. So,
no, but that was the one board that was clear engine, and then the other, the peasant one, of course, was should have been more engine than it was. That was an engine board, but yeah, some weird games. But congratulations to gamesou.
yeah. If you all want to watch more Dominion, Dan Brooks is playing right now, I believe,
Yeah, I've heard he's pretty
his
good.
tournament match. So he's, I mean, he's a scrub, but you can go watch him if you want.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
can.
I think that's perfectly sums it up. All right, see you guys.
Like